Folks, you made it to Friday. What's up? It's so bad it's good. This is your pal Ryan, and this will primarily be a Salt Lake City recap of this week's episode, but I'm sure we'll dive into a bunch of other topics and the like. How the heck is everybody doing? Man, this week, oh God, you hear me every day. I complain about the week. I still feel horrible. Bah humbug. My voice is a little thrashed still. Man, that Beverly Hills recap really do not. If I can offer one piece of advice, never do a Beverly Hills recap when you have a sinus infection, when you're screeching and doing all of these insane voices, especially that Doute voice. The Erika Jayne voice, somebody said it sounds like that's what actually pains me. It's actually the Doute. And none of these voices sound anything like the actual person themselves, so I do not know why I do it. Somebody on YouTube, I read a comment that said I sound like a slow Bob Dylan when I do my Erika Jayne, and I was like, yeah, because Erika Jayne is the Bob Dylan of our generation, unfortunately. So today we'll do the Salt Lake. What a weird, I love that I say what a weird episode. Every episode in Salt Lake City is a weird episode. There is no episode of Salt Lake that's like, oh, that's a normal episode. Each week there is something so bizarre. And this week's episode, it starts slow. And then it's like a big, like it's like a snowball in Salt Lake City going down one of those big Salt Lake City hills or mountains. And it just picks up speed, picks up speed, picks up speed. And then it becomes an avalanche by the end. I mean, at the end of Meredith Marks's bat mitzvah, I mean, shit was popping off. This is like a religious ceremony. And at the end, we're slut shaming people. We're making fun of people with big hair. We're doing all sorts of things that I'm like, I mean, if God does exist, he has got to be livid with their behavior. Now, you might be happy to know that they filmed the Salt Lake City reunion today. Andy Cohen said it took 12 hours to film. And when I saw that, I was like, why not 13? Why not 14? This season is so good that I'm willing to spend all of the time. And are you like me where I don't need this put into 3 clean parts. Give me everything. Give me from the moment that they hit set to the moment that they leave set. I want to see it all. I want to see the flubs. I want to see the breaks. I just want to see a static shot of those couches. It was like back in the day when I almost installed a video camera in Sur Alley because I just wanted to keep tabs on it 24/7. Like if you had a feed right into the Sur Alley, most of the time I'm sure it would be boring. Nobody would be there, but sometimes shit just pops off. I would imagine at Sur. So I would pay extra for a unedited feed of everything. I'm sure industry secrets would be revealed, but I'm willing to deal with that, man. Come on, give it to me all. So yeah, another weird episode where things just built and built and built until it really popped off in the last 10 minutes. And then next week, they are going on a cast trip. Thankfully, it's not to Milwaukee again. It's to beautiful Detroit. No, I'm joking. I think it's like Puerto Vallarta. We'll find out by the end of the recap today. And Lisa Barlow is planning this trip. She's like, oh my God, you have never seen a trip until you've seen a Lisa Barlow trip. And John Barlow's sitting there going, yeah, whatever gets you out of the house. Yeah, that sounds great. Tonight, Southern Charm premiered, Bop-a-doo, Bop-a-dee-ee. And I had seen this a couple weeks ago, and I kept hinting at this one scene, and you guys might have seen it tonight now. And it was where Shep made a revelation to one of the older men that takes care of one of his family's properties. He's like, well, after the experience I had at BravoCon, I went on a spiritual journey and I did ayahuasca. And, they say about ayahuasca that in 3 days, what was it like? I made a meme of it because I was like, this is just so damn ridiculous and so typical of us dorky dudes. No offense, Shep, or all offense. He said, they say it's like 3 years of therapy in 4 nights. How about just doing 3 years of therapy? Like, I love the men of Bravo are always taking the shortcut. They're like mushrooms. Sandoval did scream therapy and like ice, like cold plunges. You had Jax Taylor back in the day doing Reiki. You had Jesse from the Valley also doing ayahuasca. And I feel like they're in no way, like it really probably is a powerful experience. And I'm a doofy guy like that too. So I would do it, but also I would do therapy. I am doing therapy, but I would do therapy on top of it. By no means should Austin and Craig be like, well, I guess you're fixed, Shep. No, it'd be like, have you ever thought of going to real therapy, not on camera, just real actual therapy week after week, maybe sometimes twice a week? You probably can afford it. But this Iowa, I love. And then he had the balls to tell Austin. I mean, this was so dark that he had like that he brought up his dead sister. And then he said Taylor, his ex-girlfriend, he had like this vision that he was like, she was like a baby bird that he was like giving nutrients to. And I'm like, holy shit, what is Southern Charm is back, baby. Bappa do bappa dee dee dee. And then JT's hobbling along like Tiny Tim with a cane because he got into a little accident. Craig is the only one that seems like he has any fucking brains. No offense to anybody on the Southern Charm cast listening, especially you, Miss Patricia. But like Craig seems like he's actually learning and growing. And the other men are threatened by that potentially. And I don't know, maybe we give that credit to Paige. I don't know. But I like that this dude at least is like, yo, I can't be fucking around the same way I was fucking around for most of my life. I mean, that is actually the course of how it should go. But I think men on Bravo, I mean, somebody's got to step up. Somebody has got to step up. Like this ayahuasca thing, they had like they had video of like Shep in the ocean, and I was like, hell yeah, man, hell yeah, this is insane. But I was so happy that it was back on air. They also had Sold on SLC premiere this week after Salt Lake City, and that is the Salt Lake City realtor show. It is now like you have to have a realtor show in every state. There has to be a reality show based around real estate. And I have not checked out the first episode yet, so I have to check that out still. This week, like I said, has been so tough just to do anything, including the podcast. So there's a lot of stuff I have to catch up on, but I hope you guys like Southern Charm. Beverly Hills, solid episode. Salt Lake City, we'll talk about in a second, but man, anyways, thank you guys so much for being here. As always, we're doing a live Patreon this Monday at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Come join us, be a baddie, patreon.com/so bad it's good. I owe the Patreon a couple of episodes right now because I had to take the week off just because of this stupid sinus infection. So I am going to start making good on my promise to them. And also make sure if you are a baddie over there, make sure you get your mailing address into Maritza, because we send out a holiday card every year that she designs. And every year it's really something special and unique. And I can't wait to see this year's. So yeah, get your mailing addresses in. But that's it. How are you guys doing? Are you just as frazzled as I am? I can't believe it's December 20th right now. Can you imagine? No, I think it's December 5th. Is that right? Is it December? No, it'll be December 6th tomorrow. Good news, bad news about my sinus infection. I have to do surgery. It was scheduled for the beginning of the year, but then they emailed me today and said, what about December 30th? What about December 30th? And unfortunately, I will be out. This is pretty, I guess, intense in terms of like the aftermath, and I'll have like these big pieces of gauze up my nose that I'll have to like clean every day. So I mean, potentially it'll make me better looking, but they said, what about December 30th? And I thought, wild, I'm gonna start 2025 just in bed, which is kind of the dream, right? Like, I mean, I think we put so much pressure over the years to go out and like do a big party on New Year's Eve. Not me. I'm going to get nose sinus surgery, and I'll just be laid up. I'll be laid up on New Year's Eve. So hopefully that goes through, because I need to get this fixed because I am so messed. These flights and any kind of travel mess me up so bad. And it's just like my ear, I don't know if you guys watched the Beverly Hills recap yesterday, but my right ear, it's still a little red. It like inflamed. It looked like it was on fire because I guess like one of the nasal passages, like it'll block and then it like affects the ear as well as the nose and the throat. It is so gnarly, you guys. God, I feel like I'm going to tell you about my bathroom habits next. What a start to a show. Let's just take it easy, right? Let's just keep it casual today. So that is potentially good news. Was on Jeff Lewis this week. That was a lot of fun with Justin. Go check that on Sirius XM. We'll be doing the Jeff Lewis live show in Brea on December 19th, so 2 weeks from tonight. Tickets are already sold out, unfortunately, but I've been in a bunch of meetings with how that's going to go, and it should be a lot of fun, a couple of surprises. So I'm really excited about that. And then today, I was really out of it, but I managed to go do the Sarah Fraser podcast and went to her studio, and it was really nice to be out of this cave. And I was so impressed with her whole setup, and I think that's going to air next week. So make sure you watch that or listen to it. But it was really cool. I spent the previous hour on the phone with Spectrum tonight because I work in this little hole like down here. It's like a little room, a guest room that's kind of like a bunker, but we're in the hills, so it doesn't get great Wi-Fi service. And you can hear that sometimes, or there'll be just like real internet connectivity issues. Sometimes, a lot of the times it's on my end, sometimes it's on the guest end, but I went to record tonight and the streaming wasn't working at all. So had to call Spectrum, was on the phone with them an hour to try to reboot everything. And I'm like, I need to fucking talk about Salt Lake City. When are we going to reboot this shit? Like, it is so weird to get all worked up. You're like, I need to talk about Lisa Barlow now. I'm ready. Let's go. And we finally got it working. But I think what I'm just going to do is pay more money and get like I guess there's another high form of Wi-Fi they're going to try to hook me up with. Of course, it costs more money, but just give me something that works. It's always the adventures in podcasting. Like, I look at these people like Caller Daddy or any of these like in studio pods, and it's like, dude, I mean, they don't even like, those are like the most successful podcasters out there, and they fucking probably have no clue what it's like to be in the trenches, what it's like to deal with like internet issues, to have to edit your own podcast. I mean, they have teams of people, and it's just fucking doofy me every day in here. And then I'll do this. I'll have to like edit it, put it up into the system, add commercial breaks onto it. And I'm at the end of my rope. I'm at the end of my rope. Just imagine how freeing it would be if all I had to do was just talk about these shows. I told Sarah today, I said, one of my biggest, she was like, oh, what upsets you, or what really frustrates you about, and I said, what frustrates me about doing this show is that I want to talk about everything. And there's only so many things that I can talk about. You guys know, like, I would love to talk about every fucking show I saw, and I just can't do it. Yeah, I don't know. Sorry. Thank you for letting me get that off my chest. My therapist was out this week. So, thank you. Let me know who I owe money to out there for listening to my bullshit. And then, I think I told you guys this a while back. Tomorrow, it's just too much. I'm going to Vegas I'm taking my dad, Bill Bailey, to Vegas. A couple months ago, I surprised him and bought him tickets to go see his favorite band, the Eagles, at the Sphere. And so I had surprised him like months and months ago, and it turns out it's this damn weekend. So me and Bill Bailey are headed to Vegas. I hope the flight is okay on my sinuses. I hope it doesn't explode again. But yeah, I'm taking him. He wants to go to Lowry's Steakhouse tomorrow night, which isn't even in a casino, but he went there with my mom, I guess, in Vegas once. And so he wants to go again. So, Mom, if you're listening to this podcast somewhere in heaven, please make sure you leave me a 5-star review, Mom. But also, Dad wants to go down memory lane. So we're doing that tomorrow night. And then Saturday night, we're seeing the Eagles. And then I'll be back in Los Angeles on Sunday. And it's nonstop. And that's the thing, right? You guys, there's a timestamp if you want to skip right to the recap. I totally understand. But isn't that the thing is, I do this gratitude journal every morning, where it's like on my phone, actually, where I'll like write down 3 things I'm grateful for. And isn't it so hard sometimes to feel grateful? And you're like, there's so many things to feel grateful for, but you got to really feel it. And like, sometimes it's just a wave of things that I feel like I'm not doing and not keeping up with. And I feel so much inner pressure sometimes. And, like, I'm going to go see my dad tomorrow. I'm going to go see the Eagles. I mean, how amazing is that? And I'm completely stressed out about it. Like, I feel like I'm a full-blown lunatic sometimes. Like, wouldn't it just be amazing to be somebody like Shep, where it's just like, yeah, man, I'm going to go do ayahuasca and it's going to be all gravy, Like, just not to have to stress out about every damn thing. Okay, I got to turn this frown upside down, folks. You didn't come here for this shit. You didn't come here to listen to a grown man cry. I mean, you might have. Who knows? Maybe there's some hate listeners out there that's like, yeah, yeah. If Lisa Rinna's listening, yeah, cry, you pussy boy, cry. Oh, God. I wish some of you could just come on right now and just do this recap with me. But you know what? We persevere. We go on. Let's do this. Let's get into this recap. This episode, you guys, it is entitled Dun Dun Dun. I've got to find that screen. Oh, wait, actually, fuck that. And by the way, I realize I'm using a lot of strong language this week. I'm just like, just real grouchy old man this week. I told you yesterday in the Beverly Hills recap, and if your boy isn't clairvoyant, I think I have some special gift. I said in the Beverly Hills recap that I predict Freddie Mellencamp will move in with Kyle Richards. Guess what just got announced today? Teddi Mellencamp says she is now living over at Kyle Richards' house. I guess she has a new podcast with Erica Jane. So Erica Jane and Freddie Mellencamp are doing a podcast together, and she revealed this on her podcast. I just said this yesterday, and she revealed it today. How insane is that? I'm telling you guys, Freddie Mellencamp is going to be on next season of Beverly Hills. You can cry all you want, you can yell all you want, but if she is living with Kyle, because just imagine all like next season of Beverly Hills, there's like parties over at Kyle's, and you just have Freddie Mellencamp like peeking behind like doorways. They're like, Kyle, is that who's that staring in the windowsill? Oh, that's my roommate, Teddi. She's not allowed to film. They won't let her film. And then Teddi just like sneaking around everywhere. She's going to be back on the show. I mean, just gird your loins, protect yourself, pray to whatever God you pray to. But I'm telling you, she's coming back. There is no way she is not coming back, especially if she lives with Kyle Richards. But also, can't you just imagine that? It's like Girls Gone Wild over at Kyle Richards. Just two single ladies taking the town, like just taking the town by storm. Woo! Yeah. Tamara's over there all the time at Kyle's. Kyle's like, I don't want Tamara here. What are you doing, Teddi? You can't have guests over past 8 p.m. I mean, this has got trouble written all over it. But anyways, are you here to see Teddi Mellencamp back on Beverly Hills? If it's in a roommate situation with Kyle, would that change anything for you guys? Anyways, I guess on Spotify, you can leave comments now about that. So comment about Teddi. I'll try to read those. Make sure they're nice though. If they're negative, I'm not the one. I'm not the one this week. I've always wanted to say that, but really mean it. I'm not the one. You know, like people will say, anywho. This week's episode of Salt Lake City. Oh God, I can't believe Meredith Marks put her bat mitzvah on screen. Actually, it was it was a beautiful ceremony, actually. I did get misty-eyed at certain points. You know, Seth Marks was there going, I'm so proud of my baby. I'm here from Columbus, Ohio to watch Meredith get bat mitzvahed. So it was actually kind of this beautiful thing. And then it gets completely ruined just by those nut jobs in Salt Lake. And then, of course, Meredith got to have a moment at the end where she went full Meredith Marks of, you can leave. And all of a sudden, two big burly security men, do bat mitzvahs, are they heavily, is there a lot of security presence at bat mitzvahs? All of a sudden, two huge, security dudes came out of nowhere. I mean, I was like, what? Zoinks? And Mary's like, you can get out of here right now. And she I love how she gets her hands into it like she's Diana Ross in The Supremes. You're like, you can leave. And I'm like, what happened? Isn't this a religious ceremony? Shouldn't we try to understand everybody and where they're coming from? Isn't that godlike? God, I love this show. Oh, and another thing, Lisa Vanderpump opened up her new restaurant in Vegas called Pinky's tonight. Oh, it's going to be the sexiest restaurant in Vegas. Oh, Nick Lane has helped me design this. Nick Lane did help her design this. So I guess the opening night party was tonight in Vegas. Who knows? Maybe Tom Sandoval can get a job bartending there eventually. I mean, it's probably not bad money, but I was thinking about this today as well. is just all the Vanderpump rumors that have circulated over these last couple of years. And I just still want to remind people of back when Sandoval first happened, how everybody was like, it's fake, dude. They're doing this to save the show, man. The producers are in on it. They're all in on it. They're trying to get another season. They're trying to save the show. God, do we all realize how ridiculous we sounded now? I mean, like, okay, so yeah, say that's fake. It didn't work. The fucking OGs got canceled this week. I mean, and they had one of the best rated seasons of all time for Vanderpump. It might not have been the most enjoyable season for the audience, but it went out with it was a huge ratings juggernaut. So usually by that you would say, okay, we'll keep it going. And they're going to keep it going in name only. But I was just thinking about that today, how silly everybody sounded when it was like, this is all staged, dude. It's totally staged. It was not staged at all. And I think it just goes to show, like, this friend group really petered out. This friend group really petered out just naturally, like friend groups do, because they eventually just got like really tired of betraying each other. It was like, I need to move on with my life. And yeah, I guess they're allowed to, right? This episode of Salt Lake City is called Mazel Meredith because it's her bat mitzvah. And the description that the cable company gives us says Meredith becomes a bat mitzvah. Okay, is that okay? Meredith becomes a bat mitzvah after breaking Whitney and Angie's trust. Bronwyn gets confronted. I feel like that description, we could have gone more with it. Last week, of course, we ended with the Mary Cosby and Robert Jr. scene, which really, I think, blew everybody away. Mary Cosby was on Watch What Happens Live after last night's episode. And dude, the switch has fully been turned. Like, I fully enjoyed her on Watch What Happens Live. I mean, Andy asked her about Robert Jr. like in the first 5 minutes, and she started like breaking down in tears. I was like, Andy, maybe save the Robert Jr. segment for the end of the show. But it was beautiful, and she was able to recover. And I mean, Mary's bluntness, it actually kind of worked. If you really just hang in there, everybody. Oh, sorry, I'm being told that it's not bat mitzvah, it's a bot mitzvah. Bot mitzvah. Sorry. Bat mitzvah, you guys. But yeah, if you hang in there, eventually the tides will turn for you, especially on TV. And maybe that's some ray of hope for people out there, is that you can have bad year, and then all of a sudden you can have this amazing year that is like full of personal strife, but then it kind of endears you to people, or people all of a sudden root for you because they all of a sudden see you as a real person going through real things, and that's potentially colors how you've behaved in all of these previous seasons. Will Mary Cosby not make any more mistakes on reality television? Hell no, dude. She's probably going to get in so much more trouble in the next season. Who knows? That's just reality TV. We start, as we always do, with scenes from previous episodes. So previously on The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. And we're over at Meredith's earlier in the season when she's with the kids making what, I don't know. Remember when she was like, I'm making my face products. I've got to get my fingers dirty. So she's like in the kitchen with Brooks, and she's like, I'm going to start studying to be bat mitzvahed. And Brooks is like, I don't think people do that at your age. How dare you, Brooks? How dare your own family being ageist towards you? Is this how we raised Brooks? I'm sorry. No, Brooks. You take that back right now. You can get bat mitzvahed at any time, right? And then we flash back to Mary Cosby's brunch, where Mary is yelling at Angie and Meredith, going, Angie! And Angie's like, I didn't deny shit, Meredith. And Meredith keeps yelling at Angie, and Mary Cosby's like, Meredith, if you're not going to listen to me, get out of my house. And Meredith, with those bangs, the nightmare bangs, is like, I will. Okay, I will then leave. Oh, I will leave. Thank you. Thank you very much. And then also, we then flashed to last week's episode with Welcome to Girls Camp. Heather and Whitney threw a girls camp where they did potato sack races. And then they sat around during the day. This is why I always say Salt Lake City is like a horror film set in the daytime, because these are all like scenes during the day usually. And so they're all sitting around the campfire during the day, and Mary Cosby's confronting Meredith saying, you walking out of my house? And Meredith's like, you asked me to leave. I didn't ask you to leave, Meredith. And then that same campfire, Bronwyn is getting into it. And Bronwyn's like, you said that Heather's trying so hard to be friends with Lisa that she's not a good friend to you and Angie. And Angie says, you should shut the fuck up because this has nothing to do with you. I'm fucking Greek. And Bronwyn's like, say shut the fuck up to me one more time to me and you will never fucking see me again. I mean, that's a little Tamra Barney or Tamra Judge, remember? You will never see my face again when she's like running in Cancun. And they all had those silly looking like flame crowns on that Heather and Whitney made. I like that too because Summer House does this to great effect as well, is that they'll make them dress in ridiculous costumes and then have really serious conversations. So even if the audience gets bored with the serious conversation, you like kind of go, oh my God, that's funny. They're in a dinosaur outfit right now. And then, of course, we have the scene from last week with Mary Cosby and Robert Jr., where Robert Jr. tells Mary, I just feel like a stain. And she's like, do you understand what would happen to me? And they're both just sobbing, just so powerful. And that's where we pick up for this week's episode. I say this every week, and I'm going to say it again this week. I'm looking at the screen right now, and all of a sudden the cast photo pulls up, and Angie's in the middle, and Heather Gay looks like Heather Gay from 3 seasons ago, not the gaunt Heather Gay that we see now, and they shot new cast photos. So can somebody please fucking tell me why we do not use the new cast photos, and we're still using this old one, and we photoshopped Bronwyn into it? It makes no sense to me. You spend all the money on a new photo shoot, why are we not using it? Are we trying to get back at Heather for something? It makes no sense at all. We open up with some light synth music, bow, 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 and we see the clouds rolling over the hills of Salt Lake City. It's a new day. All of a sudden, the choral music, ba ba hoo 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 hoo, and the Welcome to Park City sign is flashed. We zoom in on a house, and a lady is prepping, and we see a Meredith Marks ice luge with big tins of Meredith Marks caviar that she dove for herself being placed. We see a celloist practicing cello little things like blah, 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 and we hear Meredith. Meredith's on a mic at the front of this room going, Barugata, Aluhenu, I don't know. I'm not going to be able to do all of the bat mitzvah, the correct pronunciation. So forgive me. I'm truly not trying to make fun of it at all. But we realize we are at Meredith Marks's bat mitzvah rehearsal. And we saw a lot of empty white chairs that will soon be filled with a lot of housewives and fake friends that Meredith has picked up through her time renting an Airbnb in Salt Lake City. But Meredith finishes, and she's like, okay, I got that one. That's a pretty skippy dippy. All right. And all of a sudden, Meredith's rabbi comes up, this really nice lady that we met previously. And she's like, how's it going? And Meredith's like, good. How are you? And they're like, well, we got to unpack the Torah. We got to do it. And Meredith's like, okay, let's do it. All right. And she's like, okay, what do we do? What do I do? What do you? And she's unpacking, the rabbi's unpacking the Torah. And I was told by my girlfriend that if you drop the Torah, you were supposed to fast for 40 days. So like, I was just like, oh, please, Meredith. Like, I was just like, please don't even do this as a joke on Bravo. Please do not drop this Torah. If that's true, none of these ladies are able to fast for 40 days. This isn't a Teddy Mellencamp all-in situation. You know what I'm saying? Meredith in a talking head says, in preparation for my bat mitzvah, I've been working really hard on learning the Hebrew and the blessings and the Torah portion. And we flash back to her rented Airbnb where Meredith is singing in Hebrew and she's in a bath. Have you heard this? Meredith Marks, I've started to pick this up, is that she likes to take baths. It's like Angie being Greek. It is something just really deep within her. And I love that she's like, for this scene, could you have me singing the Torah Hebrew portions while I'm in the bathtub? And she also looks like she's potentially in blackface here. She looks like she has like tanning, like her face and her eyebrows look super, super dark. But she's enjoying a bath while she's singing in Hebrew, practicing all of her, all the stuff for the bat mitzvah. She's like, Baruch atah Eloheinu. And all of a sudden, her daughter Chloe comes in clapping with glasses on. Chloe looks like she's hungover potentially. She's like, and Chloe's like, beautiful. I'm proud of you, Mom. I'm very impressed. And Meredith's like, she smiles, but she literally looks like she has all the tanning cream on in the world, and her eyebrows look like Charlie Chaplin's. It's so weird. The rabbi in this scene says, we are going to make an ark by wrapping this in a tallit. So we'll be covered during the service. And the tallit is this, I think it's just the religious robe that means a lot. You wear it over your shoulders as well. It's a beautiful part of the bat mitzvah. And she's like, you're going to uncover it when we're ready to have you read from the Torah. So it like kind of wraps the holy Torah in it. Meredith says, this is very special for me. You know, most people do this when they're very young. And this is something I decided to do as an adult, to affirm my faith, to affirm my spirituality and my heritage. And listen, there is nothing to be made fun of here. I mean, like the only thing I still am wondering, why didn't she do it when she was 13? And I was really half hoping that somebody from like when Meredith was growing up was going to be like performing, or like we were going to get like Donnie and Marie Osmond, or potentially like Tone Loc or Young MC. Like, come on, everybody, bust a move. Happy bar mitzvah, Meredith. Yeah, just bust a move. My best friend Larry, and Seth's like, all right, this is very sexy bat mitzvah music. All right. So she says, I'm absolutely terrified on top of being very excited because I'm scared I'm going to screw it up. She tells her rabbi, I'm ready to do it. I hope. And the rabbi says, it's going to be beautiful. And Meredith's like, okay. Here we go. Listen, I had never had a worry in my mind about if Meredith was going to knock this out of the park or not. The only thing that I was worried about is like, why would you invite your nut job castmates to this? Why would you let them film this? Because it's eventually going to end up how it ends up, where we're slut shaming somebody in front of an ice luge that's melting with a raclette cheese that looks all like dried and crusty. Like we all knew where this was going to end up. So we see that, they have a lot of Meredith marks. Like her name is everywhere. It's on the ice luge. It's on the yarmulkes. And you guys know what I'm about to say. I need one of these yarmulkes for my reality show museum. How dope would that be? I just even went around and wearing the Meredith Marks yarmulke. Brooks Marks, if you are watching this right now, we love your sweatsuit with the Brooks Marks, but what if we added a yarmulke to your collection with Meredith Marks? Like, holy shit, I would love this. Anyways, we're outside in the snowy daytime, and Meredith's like, can we do some family photos, everybody? Where do you want us for the photos? Seth, you need a yarmulke, honey. He's like, yeah, I got it. I got my own yarmulke. Yeah. And Seth has pulled out a pink yarmulke, and Brooks has taken umbrage with this and says, can you wear the black one, Dad? It ruins the vibe. Come on, please. And we have Meredith's other son, who doesn't want to participate in this. He came for this. So we see Meredith and Seth's other son, this whole family is just a bunch of beautiful people. It's really disgusting, but he's here. And this son is like, Dad's the star of the show. And Meredith's like, for the photos, I need my 3 children, please. And they're getting the photos of the 3 kids with Meredith. And Seth is talking to the rabbi watching. And Seth's like, Meredith's really amazing. And the rabbi's like, yeah, she's special. Yeah, very special. Yeah. And Seth's like, she really is, huh? And check out that hoo-ha. You know what I'm talking about? She really fills out those holy robes. Am I right, Rabbi? All right. You know what I mean. Meredith says, I feel so fortunate because my family is here today to celebrate. We see Meredith's mom. Meredith's mom is there. It's like, my mother is here. They're taking pictures by the big snowy hill. Meredith's sister is there. They're all gorgeous. And the other son, by the way, is Reed. She's like, my oldest son, Reed, came in. He lives in New York. He's a very private person. But he knew how important today was to me, so he made the effort to come and celebrate with our family. And I could not be any more elated, even though I speak like I'm on a steady stream of Xanax. So the whole family takes this great, gorgeous family photo together. I'm glad Seth could get off work from Big Lots for this very special day. We see the clouds rolling in over Salt Lake City, and we see our first SUV pull up. Who's going to get out? It's Heather Gay and her daughter, Georgia, 18, the first housewife to arrive. We see skiers going down the mountain, and Heather's like, "Isn't this fantastic? I skied right here. I skied right here on this mountain, Georgia, right here." And she's like, "Hi, we're here for a bat mitzvah." And Heather's in this like she looks like she's in like a modified Dancing with the Stars or like a Dancing on Ice outfit, like a really very sparkly silver outfit. Heather says, "Growing up in Denver, we had a pretty big Jewish community, and I went to a lot of bat mitzvahs, and it was like the time of my life, you know, and we got to get dressed up, and it was our first time out in the world. I would come home with the little booklets and practice reading the prayers. But the Jewish community in Salt Lake is tiny, and I have not been I've not been to a bat mitzvah since I was 13, so I can't wait to watch it with an adult perspective. Receipts, proof, timeline, screen. It's me, Heather, the one who says that." Which, by the way, I think her book came out this week, her second book, and in it she talks about. Did you guys see this? I was meaning to talk about this earlier in the week, but I guess now is as good of a time as any, because I just think, my God, we're really trying to sell these books, aren't we? So Heather is starting to get her drink on during the daytime with her daughter there, and her daughter's like, "She's an espresso martini girl." And Heather's like, "Yeah, thank you, Georgia. Thank you for reminding me of that." In a talking head, she says, "I have so much faith in Meredith's religious ceremony that I'm willing to order and drink an espresso martini for the first time since Palm Springs." And then we flash back, and I'm like, "Oh my God, are we going to get it? Are we going to get when, are we going to get the clip where Heather Gay pisses and throws up at the same time in the Sprinter van?" And I'm like, "Okay, here we go." And we see Meredith, like we see Heather. They flash back to the Palm Springs Palm Springs trip. She has the bedazzled hat on, and she's sipping the first espresso martini, then the second, then the third, then the fourth. And then we flash to the Sprinter van, and she just has her head going, "I'm so sick." But they didn't show it. This is how much Bravo is protecting Heather Gay, that they refused. I mean, this Bravo will flash back on anything. They'll flash back in a flashback in a flashback, yet they failed to show us an iconic flashback of when Heather Gay threw up and pissed herself at the same time in the Sprinter van. Like, come on, we cannot erase, you will not erase this from history, Bravo. You just won't. She tells her daughter, "The first time even that I even sipped alcohol was at a bat mitzvah." And Georgia's like, "You sipped alcohol?" "Yeah, they had an open bar like this, and they were making fuzzy navels, which is like peach schnapps, orange juice, and like Sprite. I knew it was bad, but it tasted delicious." And I was like, "Yeah." And George is cracking up. But, you know, this is like the thing. I read Heather's first book. And it is funny, like, she, you know, it's very interesting how Heather vacillates from so religious and so all about the Mormon church for a certain time. But at the same time, she was breaking a lot of like the tenets of the faith, you know, like even at 13 years old, going to bat mitzvah, like drinking on fuzzy navels. By the way, nothing wrong with that. Everybody had that experience. But I do wonder, I don't know, it feels murky at times with Heather. Anyways, Bronwyn comes in with Alan, actually her husband Todd, and she's wearing like this little like a fur number for her arms and like a big old fancy skirt, but then the midriff is showing with like a Rihanna type like bra top, and she looks pretty, but it's a little revealing for a bat mitzvah. And Heather's like, "You're so sparkly. You got the diamond memo." And they're hugging, which is interesting because, you know, they've obviously had their, you know, they're back and forth this season, and, you know, but everybody's getting along thus far. And Lisa Barlow comes in like, "Hi, friends. How are you?" And John Barlow isn't there. Where is John? I need more John Barlow. Whitney and Justin come in. They're dressed like they're going to a funeral, all in black. Lisa keeps going, "Hello, hello, hello. Oh my gosh, I love that you guys are so blingy," to Heather and Bronwyn and her daughter. And Georgia, the daughter's like, "It's so good to see you, Lisa." Whitney and Justin come up to say hi, and Bronwyn kind of like, uh-oh. And Whitney kind of cold shoulders Bronwyn and walks like right by her at first without a hug. And, so you remember they got into it last week as well. Whitney and Angie got into it with Bronwyn. Heather tells Justin that she's back on the espresso martini. And Justin's like, you are fast. Oh, where did that go? Because we noticed that it's already sucked down and it's her second one. So Heather, man, if I was just praying that we got like in the middle of the bat mitzvah, Heather's like, I don't feel good, and like pissed and pooped herself or something. And Heather's like, I hear this is what you do at bat mitzvahs. You drink, eat, drink, and be merry. All right. So Heather tells Whitney, you look so glam. And Whitney's like, I didn't know what to wear. And everybody's like, we went sparkly. Diamonds and caviar was the theme. And Whitney is still kind of being very tentative with Bronwyn. And Whitney in a talking head says, I have been so frustrated since camp day. I was really enjoying getting to know Bronwyn until she spun my words to make it seem like I said all these awful things about Heather. To me, this was such a non-issue. Like, to me, I was just like, I almost was wondering if Whitney was trying to make it into more of a storyline than it was, because I didn't really, if anything, it was more Angie than Whitney. So I didn't really see, like, even Heather says later in this episode, oh, it wasn't a big deal. I totally, that's the name of the game in Housewives. You guys all talk behind each other's back. And now, you guys, one of my favorites, Brittany motherfucking Bateman pops on the scene. And guess what? She brought a bottle of wine. You can't bring a bottle of wine to Brittany, but she can bring one to your event. So Brittany comes in. She's like, hello. Whitney in a talking head says, life is all about intentions, and right now I do not trust Bronwyn's intentions. She tells Brittany, she goes, I've noticed you've been getting more daring with your nails, Brittany. And Brittany's like, yes. I've tried to follow your nails. Look how gorgeous your nails are. Mine are nice and simple, Brittany. And Bronwyn is looking at both of their nails, and she's like, ooh, oh my gosh, let me see. Oh. And she turns to Lisa, and she's like, do you do that? Do you have gel all over your nails? And Lisa's like, I don't do that. No way. It's a little bridge and tunnel, this is why you gotta love Lisa Barlow. She all the things that you think in your head, she says out loud. And she turns to Heather's daughter and she's like, maybe she's bridge and tunnel. And I don't even know if Heather's Gay's daughter even goes, I don't even know what that means. And Lisa's like, oh my God. Then another person comes in. It's Maylee. Maylee, the friend of with very few words, comes in. They get served alcohol right when they walked in. They're like, hi, what's your Maylee? Hey, Maylee. Okay. All right. And then Angie Katsunavis comes in with her husband. Her husband is not wearing a baseball cap in this scene. So that's big. Sean always loves a hat moment in most of his scenes, but he's full Pitbull in this scene. He looks just like Pitbull. And Angie Katsunavis comes out like, the breastises are showing. She's got like a deep V dress going on. And she's like, hey, everyone. In a talking head, she says, things have been a little tense with Meredith and me, so I was a little surprised to get an invite. But I'm looking at this as a path forward, and being religious myself, this is a really great way for us to connect. I'm Greek, and I'm really looking forward to it. So everybody is still doing the hi, nice to meet you, you look great, good to see you, blah, blah, blah. And Bronwyn just clocks Angie Katsunavis, and the music is like, dong, and you can tell Bronwyn is not pleased. She's just staring, and you realize she has these like little dot sparkly things around her eyes, Bronwyn does, and I love Bronwyn so much. I love her so much. Angie comes up to the main table. Hi, everyone. Hi. And Bronwyn's still like, huh. In a talking head, she says, I am not in a good place with Whitney or Angie. I didn't appreciate telling the truth, and I really do not appreciate being told to shut the fuck up. So until Angie wants to come to me with the words, I'm sorry, we don't have a ton to say to each other right now. Ha ha ha. So then Maylee and Brittany Bateman and Bronwyn are talking, and she's like, have you seen anyone since we've been camping? have you seen Mary? And Brittany's like, no, I haven't seen Mary. No. And they're like, is Mary coming tonight? And there's silence. And we hear echoing, is Mary coming tonight? Is Mary coming tonight? Is Mary coming tonight? Almost like it's a seance. And all of a sudden the sky turns black with clouds. Is Mary coming tonight? Is Mary coming tonight? And all of a sudden we're at Mary's. And it's a flashback to Angie talking to Mary Cosby. And Angie asks Mary Cosby, so what's the latest with you and Meredith? And Mary's like, no comment. And Angie's like, where does that leave you with her bat mitzvah? Will you still go, Mary Cosby? And Mary's like, I'll think about it. But like, I'm more concerned with what I'm dealing with. And right now, my family needs me. And that's what's important to me. So I'm sorry. And she's trying to like not cry. And Angie, like there's a lot of things not being said in this scene. A lot of pauses. And Angie finally goes, is everything okay? Another huge pause. And she smiles, but like kind of crying through tears. And she's like, I'm sorry. In a talking head, Mary says, since I found out about Robert and that he is really in need of help, I feel like a state of shock. And I didn't see this coming. She's tearing up. It's in my worst nightmare. I would never thought. I like how Mary Cosby is like me. She knows what she wants to say, but she doesn't exactly. She was like, I would not have ever thought. I would not, and I know exactly what she means, but I like that. I'm like that. I think I know what I want to say, but I'm like, I would never not think about that. That, she was like, that this would be in my home, Mary Cosby says. And I feel like there's something in me. I can fix it. I know I can fix it. And I always, first thing is go to God. Go to the big man. And I ask God to help me, Mary says. Big pause in the talking head. And she looks down. And then she looks up and she says, and lead me. Another huge pause, trying not to fully cry. And she says, and guide me to what I should do. Angie in the scene goes, I don't know what's going on. And I don't want to pry, but I'm here when you're ready. And Mary's like, yeah, I will. And this is so interesting. And I will say it shows a great deal of respect for Mary that none of these ladies seem to be prying. Even in this scene, it's like so much is right there on the surface. And Angie's like, I'm not going to ask. Just tell me when you're ready. And then all of a sudden we hear the echo in, is Mary coming tonight? Is Mary coming tonight? Is Mary? And we're back at the bat mitzvah. And Angie says to Whitney, well, here we are. We hear Bronwyn, once again talking to Brittany and Maylee, says, what's been really fun for me is I've been on the outs with almost everyone, so at some point everyone has talked shit about everybody else to me because I didn't like them. And in that moment, I was like, oh my God, Bronwyn has made such an impact in 11 or 12 short episodes. I mean, Bronwyn really hit the ground running. She's a part of all the storylines. She really hit the ground running, so good for her. Anyways, Maylee's like, Bronwyn's the dumping ground. I think it's like the one line Maylee says this episode. She's like, Bronwyn's the dumping ground. And to the side, Angie Katsunavis is whispering to Whitney and going, I got a little snub from Bronwyn. And Whitney's like, there's just weird vibes. And Angie's like, mafia vibes. You remember the mafia party? Mafia vibes. And Whitney's like, And Brittany tells the ladies, she goes, I'm still upset with Angie for calling me a slut. Like says, oh, you're sleeping with 10 guys. And Maylee goes, I didn't hear that. And Brittany's like, no, you're sleeping with 3 guys. You're sleeping with 5 guys. And Bronwyn's like, yes, I've heard it. Yes. And we flash back to Mary's brunch where Angie Katsunavis is telling Brittany, you're doing 3 guys and you drink and you're claiming to be some total Mormon. And Brittany's like, I didn't sleep with 3 guys. And Lisa Barlow's like, wow. In this scene, Brittany says, I really think that if she's accusing me of that, then that's probably because that's what she's doing with Sean. And Maylee's like, ooh, child. And Bronwyn's like, ha, 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 ha. And Brittany's like, I'm just going to say it. It's extra offensive to be accusing me of that with that. It's like so sensitive in my religion and my beliefs, And Bronwyn's like, but does Angie know how Mormon you are? Because she brought you the wine and now she says you're sleeping with people. Maybe she doesn't know that you're into it. And Brittany's like, no, she knows. She knows. Everybody knows I'm a huge Mormon. She's just doing it to get attention, I feel like. And Bronwyn's like, well, I've noticed that in a group setting, Angie does like to pick someone and big up them. I love the way Bronwyn, and big up them. She's a bigger upper. She had the scroll at the Bezos party. Like, Bronwyn should have said, oh, I realize she also loves props. She loves prop comedy, Angie does. And we flash back to the scroll at the Bezos party when she presented to Meredith. She goes, here's a few things, Meredith, I'd like apology for. And then Bronwyn continues, she kicks the chair in Milwaukee, and we flash back to the Harley Davidson dinner where Angie stands up awkwardly and then kicks the table back like it's like on cue. It's so awkward. I love it. It's kind of like the way Mary Cosby speaks. Is like Angie has these big moves, but she doesn't fully know how to like she makes big moves, but like she just needs to work on the flow of the moves. And Bronwyn's like, she's told me to shut the fuck up 7,000 times. And we flash back to last week's episode where Angie's like, everybody shut the fuck up. And you should shut the fuck up too, because this has nothing to do with you, Bronwyn. Bronwyn in this scene goes, so we'll see who's the target tonight. But you know she's going to be doing the most with someone because that's her vibe. She's got to have the attention somehow. Now, on the other side, Heather's now joined Whitney and Angie. And Heather's like, what else is going on? Cover up. It is PG, Angie. Look at those bazonga-zongas. Then we flash back to Bronwyn going, although Sean is here, and I don't know that he knows that he's married to Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. And Maylee laughs. Maylee's like, ha ha, does this laugh count as a line? Do you think I'll be back next season? Ha 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 ha. And we cut to our first commercial break. We come back from break and klezmer music is playing and people are still, I don't know how many people are still, why are people still saying hi to each other? We're still there. Meredith's family comes in and like Lisa's like, oh my God, I love that I get to hug you again. And Heather is telling Meredith's mom, I've heard so much about you and vice versa. And Heather's like, it's so nice to meet you. I love your daughter so much this season. Can I give you a hug? Mwah, mwah. You are stunning. You are stunning. This is Angie. And this is Whitney when he's like, hello, Meredith's mother. And Whitney's like, I'm sure you know about us. And Meredith's like, I don't know who you are. And it's there. They're like, okay, nice to meet you. And then all of a sudden we have a shot of just like horses, but from like the vantage point of riding these horses. And the horses are like galloping along. And I'm like, are these reindeers? Is this Santa? And Lisa tells Meredith's mom, this is so exciting. I love that Meredith decided to do this. And Meredith's mom is like, do you believe it? It's a lot. It's hard work. I know. It's appropriate for right now, too. And she's like, yes. And Lisa's like, we just found out my husband's adopted that he's Jewish, too. His dad is Russian and German Jew. And Meredith's mom's like, and his mom? His mom is a blonde-haired girl from, like, Arizona. So she's like, ha, 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 ha. And Meredith's mom's like, okay, so he's not Jewish then. And Lisa's like, she's not Jewish. A blonde-haired from Arizona. We cut back to the horse jingle-jangling. Dun, 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 dun. I'm like, what is going on with the horses? And then Heather all of a sudden goes, wait. Oh, my God. Is it really Meredith? And all of a sudden we realize Meredith is being driven by these horses in a sleigh with her family. We see Seth with his pink yarmulke. And Seth is like, you're going to become a woman today. All right. And Meredith's like, very funny. And then everybody's like, oh, Meredith. Oh, my God. Meredith in her talking head says, I do not usually make a grand entrance. I really don't. But this is a very special day. Heather is like waving like she's at like a baseball game and they're doing like some kind of game. Like, woo! She's like one of those floppy things you see at like car dealerships that are like, over here, woo! So Meredith's like, I wanted to do something that would definitely be memorable. So it's a sleigh. It really is it's a sleigh and it's a sleigh, Meredith. Heather in a talking head goes, I love this bitch. Okay. Heather just screams out, Mazel! 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 They all exit the the sleigh, and Bronwyn's like, this is quite the bat mitzvah. I've never been to a 12-year-old party like this. And her husband, Todd, is like, oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Oh, that's a good one. Meredith is walking. She's like, I made it over the ice. I made it. I was a little worried, but I'm here. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Everybody looks amazing. All right. Let's do this, bitch. Let's go. All right. Everybody's like, you look beautiful, blah, blah, blah. Meredith's all in white. She does look very pretty, but just more hugging, more mazel toving. Congratulations. Meredith tells Whitney, mazel tov is congratulations. Because Whitney like, should I say mazel tov to you? Angie's like, what an entrance, Meredith. Congratulations. I've never been to a bat mitzvah, so, and Meredith's like, well, thank you. Well, welcome. So all of a sudden, like things are at like things are cool between Angie and Meredith. We get Meredith's talking head, and she's like, given all of the issues I've had with Angie recently, it's surprising to me that she wanted to come watch me become a woman, but I'm happy that she did. Today is about inclusivity and positivity and togetherness, and maybe this is a sign of something positive to come. I hope. Double cross. Lisa's like, mazel tov, yeah, mazel tov. Mary's like, okay, guys, let's go inside. It's time for me to do this shit. And we see a sign that says, Meredith Marks being called to the Torah as a bat mitzvah. And we hear this like violin, cello music. We see the yarmulkes, pensive violin music playing. Everybody is taking their seats. And Lisa's like, I'm flying solo. Where do I sit? Maylee's like, come sit with me. And everybody's just taking their seats. You know what I'm saying? This was like such a slow start. It was like a lot of like people hugging each other and telling each other they look good and handsome. And Heather tells Brooks, hi, gorgeous. How are you? Hi. So everybody's sitting down, and the rabbi, takes her spot, and her name's Ruth, and she starts speaking in Hebrew. And she says, it's an honor to welcome all of you here today to celebrate the becoming a bat mitzvah of Meredith. When someone becomes a bar or bat mitzvah, they get to take on new responsibilities in the community and new opportunities. And one of them is being able to wear a talit, or a prayer shawl. Now, remember, we saw the talit earlier when it was wrapped in the Torah. So the rabbi is like, Meredith, do you want to come up? And Mom, do you want to come up? Meredith's mom. And we're going to have you give this to your daughter, the talit. And Seth, you can already tell, is getting emotional watching his wife have the talit wrapped around her shoulders by her mom. Tender guitar music is playing. And Brittany turns to who she's seated with, and she's like, the scarf goes with her outfit. Yeah, it's the talit, but yeah, the scarf, it's great. Was that at Contempo Casuals? It looks beautiful. It's matching, right? And then all of a sudden we hear echoing like we did earlier with Where's Mary Cosby? It's like, the scarf goes with the outfit. The scarf goes with her outfit. The scarf, and it's like dark clouds again. And all of a sudden we're transported to another flashback at Meredith Marks and Seth Marks' Airbnb. And Meredith tells Seth, hi, honey. And Seth's like, hey, can I give you my tallis from my bar mitzvah? And Meredith's like, to wear yours? And he's like, yeah. Yeah, you say and he starts mumbling in Hebrew, trying to be funny. He's like, blah, 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 please don't fuck with me. And Mary's like, I don't think that's the prayer, honey. The Chloe's like, it's definitely not. Dad's just being a silly goose. And then, so we realize this is Seth's talit from when he got bar mitzvahed, so it's that much more emotional. So back here, they're putting on the clip so it doesn't fall off the shoulders. And Meredith's like, sharing Seth's talis that he wore at his bar mitzvah so many years ago is an incredible connection. It's like we're sharing this experience and connecting on our faith in a way that we never have before. You just know this horny Seth is like, yeah, I want to connect in a way we've never connected before. Let's do the hippity dippity under my talis. Yeah, all right. So the rabbi's like, Meredith, can you say the blessing? And then we start the Baruch Atah, all the beautiful Hebrew that I cannot pronounce right now, but she's rocking it. And they're like, amen. So it seems like she did good with this. Lisa's like, amen. She kisses her mom. She's about to become a woman. And now I believe we're about to read the Torah. So we put the fringes on the talit inside the Torah. So there's like fringes on the talit. We put it in the Torah. I mean, this is like the ritual of this is kind of cool and beautiful to learn about. And Seth, we see he's getting emotional. Todd is he has his like hand up on his chin. He's like really into this. And all of a sudden Meredith is singing in Hebrew, and you can tell Lisa Barlow's like, I could make this a hit. If I Lisa Barlow, sang this Hebrew, I could fucking rock the charts. But she's singing. It seems like she's doing good. It looks like she has a little cheat sheet inside the Torah, but who's counting? Anyways, Meredith says, reading the Torah, which is the highest honor in the Jewish faith, is so meaningful to me. It's just a very intense moment, like knowing that you're reading from this old scroll with so much history and so much meaning behind it. And I'm honored to have this opportunity to read from it. And so she keeps singing in Hebrew. I mean, it's pretty cool, actually. Lisa Barlow is starting to cry. She gets the tissue out. And Lisa goes, being Jewish by heritage, I love the Jewish faith. I'm lucky that that's a part of me. And I think it's really important to remember your heritage and where you came from. And now I feel even closer to Meredith. And I couldn't be more proud of her, even though now I'm Mormon and I'll get to the highest heaven and Meredith won't. Meredith continues singing in Hebrew. She's killing it. Heather is looking, smiling. Whitney's paying attention. Todd now is reading the program. Meredith keeps it going. There's like no rap break. She's just going through it. She smiles at her rabbi and everybody says, Amen. And Seth is wiping his eyes. It's very emotional, you guys. Meredith is trying now. And we're putting away the Torah now. So they're like, Seth, you're going to come up and lift the Torah. Meredith, you can be seated for one moment before we need you back. And so all of a sudden we see an SUV pull up. Who could this possibly be? Could this be somebody from Meredith's past? What is going on? Could it be Jen Shah escaping from prison? Is this the Shawshank redemption that we were waiting for? And all of a sudden we hear Mary Cosby's voice. And Mary Cosby says, with everything going on with Robert Jr., I did not know if I was going to be here today. But religion is important to me. And so is Meredith. And even though things haven't been good between Meredith and I still think that it's important that I show up. And I am here for today. Hell yeah, Mary. Of course it's potentially an hour late. But that's how Mary Cosby does it. The fact is, she still showed up, still got in that SUV to be driven there. Mary Cosby walking in by herself, all done up, and she's like, oh gosh, oh God, oh, cold. And she doesn't know how to get in. Classic Mary Cosby. I love that a cameraman's not like, use the door over there. The cameraman's just capturing this moment. And all of a sudden we hear Meredith, or somebody singing Hebrew. And we see Mary Cosby through the black gauzy curtains. We see her walking through and she's looking. The Torah, Seth's holding up the Torah. And I'm like, do not drop that Torah when Mary Cosby comes in. And Mary Cosby's like, oh Lord, why is there black all over the door? I can't see in. Where am I going? And all of a sudden, Mary Cosby's right near the stage. You can see the Torah and the people, and then right to the left of it, outside the window, you see Mary Cosby looking all around, looking lost. And she's puts her head to the glass, where am I? Oh my God, where am I supposed to go? Where am I? Help! Help! It's me, Mary Cosby! Now, Georgia points out Mary to Heather, and Heather turns to Brittany. He's like, oh my God, that's Mary. She's late. And so she keeps looking at the window, and Brittany tells Heather, that's really late. Whoa. Mary Cosby is still peeking in the windows. I don't know how she's not seeing anything. I will be so livid if I find out this moment is fake in any way. And God will be pissed too. This is done in God's glory right here, this whole service. And if I find out that this scene is fake, I will raise the highest hell. Anyways, Brittany's like, she's literally peeking through right there. And Heather's like, oh shit. Now, Mary Cosby is now directly behind the rabbi through the window. And she just keeps peering in. How can she not see a damn thing? And the rabbi's like, okay, we're going to share a few words of the Torah. And Mary's like, it's me, Mary Cosby. Okay. And the rabbi's like, okay, we're going to tell us a little bit about what this day means to them. And everybody's like, Heather, stop making faces. Go out and fucking get Mary Cosby. And then Mary Cosby is like, I don't know what to do. I almost was scared that Mary Cosby was going to go home. We cut to break. We come back. And all of a sudden, it's time for Meredith to get back on the little stage. And finally, Mary Cosby sees the door and gets in. Why was Mary Cosby looking through the glass? Why didn't she just look for a door? I don't know how this Mary Cosby operates. I love her to death now, but I don't know how she operates. She gets in finally. It's like, Mary, follow the camera, people. Meredith takes the stage and she's like, Shalom. Shalom. I did not have a bar mitzvah growing up. For most of my life, that didn't bother me. There's a big pause as Mary comes into the room. And Meredith starts to like tear up. She's like, sorry, I'm having a minute. I'm having a minute. The rabbi like pats her back. And Mary's like, excuse me. Can I get in here? Can I sit? I just need to sit. And Meredith is now having a personal conversation with the rabbi. She's like, it's coming. These emotions are coming off at the last possible moment. It's just crazy. It's crazy. It's just, I'm sorry, everyone. I'm sorry. She takes a moment to collect herself, to wipe her eyes. And she's like, okay, I'm ready. Let's do this. And Mary now is watching. For most of my life, that didn't bother me. I knew my heritage is Jewish, and that was enough. As we have all watched significant growth in anti-Semitism in the U.S. around the world, I decided that I wanted a chance to publicly affirm my pride in being Jewish and to have an opportunity to gather with my family and my friends. My hope and prayer is that we come together in community across our differences, Jewish, Mormon, Christian, Muslim, gay, straight. In doing so, the world will truly become a better place. I mean, those are very powerful words. I mean, I think this was, if you can take that message on its face, that it's such a positive message that, my God, wouldn't that just make this just such a better world? Now her whole family's on stage doing a prayer. May God bless you and protect you. Even the son that doesn't like to be on TV says, may God deal kindly and graciously with you. And Brooks is like, may God bestow divine favor upon you. Now Seth is really tearing up in the audience. He's like, that's my family. It's my two sons and my daughter. Now Seth is speaking. He's like, you're never too old and it's never too late to achieve your aspirations and dreams. I have asked for 2 days off from Big Lots in Columbus, Ohio, so I am achieving my dream right now. But at the end of the day, I'm so proud of you, Meredith. And then they share a kiss. Meredith in a talking head says, for me, becoming a bat mitzvah is really a spiritual journey. It very much is. I absolutely feel a stronger connection to my Jewish heritage now. And now they do a symbolic passing of the Torah, starting at Brooks. I'm like, nobody dropped this thing. So they go through it. And then it ends with Meredith and the Torah. She sings the Adonai, the whole thing. In a talking head, she's like, it's really fantastic. And the rabbi's like, okay, we're going to say congratulations. In Hebrew, we say Mazel Tov. And everybody's like, Mazel Tov. Let's go and eat. All right, let's start the party. The klezmer music pops up. We go into this function. We see that there's a nice, what is that, like a prime rib? The ice loses out. We got some rolls I'm looking at. We see gift bags with Meredith Marks emblazoned on it. And everybody's making their way to the party. And I'm like, now let's get this motherfucking Housewives episode started. Because shit is about to go down. Brittany comes in and she starts twirling in her dress. And she's like, la, la. Just by herself twirling. La. That's how fucking insane this show is. Brittany just starts twirling after this ceremony. La. And Mary Cosby is at the bar with Heather, and Mary turns to Heather and goes, you look smaller. You look smaller, Heather Gay. And Heather's like, what's the most caloric drink you've got? You can tell Heather's a little buzzed. And they're like, caloric. And Mary's like, I love that word. And Heather's like, Mary wants to fatten me up. And Mary goes, kinda. Yeah, kinda. I do. I want to see you do a mukbang. Let's do it. Fuck Trisha Paytas. I want to see a Heather Gang mukbang. Come on. We see the meat getting carved. And Seth's like talking to somebody. If you love capers, you're going to love the caviar. Yeah. It's a luxury taco with this little disc of bread. Whitney is telling Heather, did you see the fondue over there? And Heather's like, fondue. And we see the fondue roasting the raclette cheese by the fire. And it's like dripping cheese onto a plate. This kind of skeeved me out a little bit. I don't know. It just felt wrong. Mary meets Meredith's mom. Meredith is like, mom, she's like, I'm Meredith's mom. And Mary's like, you are? You look like Meredith. Yeah, okay, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. And then Mary turns to Reed, Meredith and Seth's son that is not on TV a lot. Mary goes, Reed, here's the stud. Like, wow, he is a stud. Mary likey what she sees. She's like, Jared Osmond can't slip into my DMs, but Reed Marks slip sliding away, you know? Hey, this Reed, oh, I like, it looks like you are packing, Reed. Woo! Come to the gospel of Mary Cosby. Like, Mary, look at her face. She's like, you. I me likey how you fill out those dress slacks. Woo, he's a stud, right? Heather runs up to these random like plastic surgery people. Like, did Heather invite her own plastic surgeons? And all of a sudden she introduces to Bronwyn. She's like, this is Dr. Cerati. This is my plastic surgeon. And Bronwyn's like, oh, nice to meet you. I love a plastic surgeon. And his wife, Alexia. And I'm like, wait, Heather got to invite the plastic surgeon, or is it Meredith's plastic surgeon as well? And Heather goes, this is the guy that, you know, resurfaces everything. But the transcription on Peacock says this is the guy that beef surfaces, BEEF. And I was like, oh God, beef surface? But she says resurfaces everything. And I'm like, yeah, we get how plastic surgery works. And the rabbi is taking this all in going, all this work was just a waste. Angie K is talking to Lisa, and Angie goes, I was going to tell you, I feel like I need to talk to Bronwyn. I can sense that she's like, and Lisa goes, upset? Yeah, I feel like she's upset. I love how these people, they all feel. I feel. And Bronwyn's like, and so if she has, you know, her thing with me, I don't want that to get in between you and I. And Lisa goes, I did not like when we weren't talking, Ange. And then we went to the aquarium that looked like Avatar, and we mended our friendship. And Angie's like, yeah, I didn't like when we weren't talking either, Lisa. There was a void in my life, Lisa. There was a big Lisa Barlow-shaped void in my life. And Lisa goes, there was a void in mine too. And it wasn't the rack. And then all of a sudden, Mary Cosby makes her way to Meredith. And Meredith goes, Mary Cosby. Mary fucking Cosby. Mary can't call me little girl now. Remember how Mary in the first season, like, little girl to Whitney? I love that Meredith. Mary can't call me little girl now because I'm a full-blown woman after that ceremony, right? So Mary comes up to her and is like very tense. I'm like, what's going to happen? And Mary goes, how are you, babe? I'm very good. I'm a woman now. How are you? And Mary goes, you did amazing. I mean, from what Mary saw, you did amazing. I'm proud of you. And Mary goes, thank you. Oh my God, thank you. And then Mary goes, you know, we have to talk. And I'm like, do we? Do we have to talk at this beautiful religious ceremony? But I guess we do. She goes, you know, we have to talk. I mean, I guess I have to get it out now. No, you don't. But I'm here for it. So there's a pause and Mary's like, I've never had a friend that walked out of my house. Never. My friends don't treat me like that. Not my real ones. I know this is your night and I don't want to fight with you. I love that. Like, I thought she was like, I know this is your night, but I'm going to take you outside and I'm going to teach you some manners. 2 hits, me hitting you, you hitting the snow, Meredith. But she's like, no, I don't want to fight with you, Meredith. I don't want to do that. Right? I really don't. Mary Cosby has not even taken off her very expensive aviator shades. But she's like, I don't want to fight with you. I really don't, Mary. And Meredith goes, well, I'm sorry that I hurt your feelings by leaving. I like that Meredith is cool, calm, and collected after the ceremony. She's like, I'm sorry that I hurt your feelings by leaving. And I'm sorry for the bangs that I wore. I know that scared a lot of people associated with that event. And Mary goes, okay, well, I said, you know, and she goes, well, and I'm sorry I hurt your feelings, Meredith, to make you feel like you wasn't welcome. You wasn't welcome in my home. And Meredith's like, I think the fact, Heather is talking to Brittany, and Heather, you know, she spies on everything. Heather goes, I think the fact that she came and that they're even talking, you know, is like honestly mind-blowing, Brittany. Now back, yes, Heather says, Meredith doesn't have any of those red flashes on the back of her arms or her chest, so she's not too upset. I love that Heather points out things that, like, when Meredith gets upset, she has red flashes on her chest and her back. But anyways, we're back, and Meredith is smiling beautifully at Mary. And Mary goes, I feel like we should learn from it. And Meredith's like, yeah, yeah. And Mary's like, and move forward, because I do love you. I do. You and I have been through the worst, Meredith. Literally. And Mary's like, I hear you. You're preaching to the choir. I know. And Mary's like, I know, I love you so much. And then Meredith brings her in for a hug, and Mary breaks down. She's like, I love you so much. This is what it's like. I even knew when Mary was talking shit about Meredith last week's episode. I'm like, come on, Mary. I know you don't mean it. And like Mary kind of crumbles when Meredith hugs her. And Mary's like, I love you so much, baby. I love you so much. And it was a little familiar. I was like, give me a little sugar. Come on, bring it in. But Mary goes, you don't even know how I love you so much. And Meredith goes in for another hug. I thought this was beautiful. And Mary's like, I really do. I love you so much. In a talking head, Mary goes, Meredith is one of my closest friends. In the scene, she goes, and I got you back. I got you. I got you. In the talking head, she says, and looking back, our fight seems silly, like Meredith's bangs. And I'm glad to just let it go. Because I'm dealing with something that's way too precious, and it's way more important. And I can't be bothered with stuff that don't matter. Then she asks Meredith in the scene, what are you drinking? Goat's blood? No, she's like, vodka soda. Vodka soda. And Mary goes, ooh, cheers. Like, ooh, vodka soda. Fancy. Oh, is that a Jewish drink? Fancy. Cheers. Cheers, babe. Cheers. I know, it was a very sweet scene, and I love that they made up. I love that Mary came, but then Mary drinks, and she's like, ooh, ugh. What is this, Charles Shaw? I don't think I like this. We see people getting into these snacks, this meat, the plates, the cheese. Everybody's just eating to their heart's content. I'm telling you, this cheese looks nasty as hell. And Brooks is talking to Meredith's mom, and he's like, you've never had raclette cheese before? And Meredith's mom's like, no. And it's like, are you serious, Grandma? And she's like, no, I've never even heard of it. He turns to the Meredith's sister. It's like, have you heard of raclette before? It's like, no, never. And Brooks is like, what? I thought it was just like such a common thing. And then the rest of the episode is about raclette cheese. So all of a sudden, Angie goes up to Bronwyn and says, can we talk? And I'm like, oh, here we go. Let's get into the funky shit. This is gonna be bad. And Bronwyn's like, and talk? Okay, yes, we can talk. And Todd's right next to Bronwyn's side talking to Lisa Barlow. And Bronwyn's like, we can talk about everything else as well. And Bronwyn says, it's a bat mitzvah. I want to be respectful, okay? And Angie's like, yeah, absolutely. I totally want to be respectful as well. And so Bronwyn, they go to a side table, and she's like, what's going on, Angie? And Angie's like, well, always start with a compliment. Love your outfit. Love your purse. Thank you. Love all your sparkles. And Bronwyn's like, is step 2 an apology, perchance? And Angie just takes her in. And Angie's like, do I owe an apology? And Bronwyn's like, yes, I would think so, yes. And she's smiling. Like, I weirdly like how Bronwyn handles these situations. Yes, yes, I do. And Angie goes, well, I was thinking the same. And Bronwyn goes, you think I owe you an apology? And Angie's like, yeah. And we cut to commercial. And Angie's like, well, I feel like you twisted something that I said. And Bronwyn's like, okay. And Bronwyn's like, I think I can be. And Bronwyn's like, did I twist the 7,000 times you told me to shut the fuck up? And Angie's like, no, I said it. And Bronwyn's like, you and I both know telling me to shut the fuck up that many times is out of line. And until I get an apology from you, there is nothing further for us to say to each other. Angie K. Do whatever the fuck you want, Ange, but not with me. And Angie's like, okay. So does it make you feel good if I said I am sorry, I told you to shut the fuck up? And Bronwyn's like, Ange, that's not an apology. I'm not going to do this with you. And she's starting to walk away. And Angie's like, Bronwyn, don't walk away. You know what? That's just cheap. Like, stay here. Listen. And Bronwyn's like, I'm cheap now. I'm cheap now. Okay. And Angie's like, let's work it out in the remix. And Angie's like, did I say you're cheap? I mean, did I say you're cheap? And Bronwyn's like, what else, Angie? What else do you got? Go for it. And Angie's like, it's the easy way out to walk away. In a talking head, Angie's like, look, if you're going to ask for an apology and someone gives it to you, then you better learn how to fucking take it. Angie does like saying fucking a lot. That must be a Greek word. Who knows? Angie says, Bronwyn, you put me in a bad position. And Bronwyn's like, I didn't put you in a bad position. You tried to make things much worse between me, Heather, and Lisa and Whitney than it needed to be. And Bronwyn's like, that's not true. Okay, Angie, I'm not doing this. You are spinning the story. And Angie's like, you were inserting yourself in Brittany's relationship. And Bronwyn's like, by the way, you're the one who said she's fucking 10 guys at once, Angie. And Angie's like, yeah, she was. I didn't say 10. Who said 10? Angie's like, yeah, I was. I didn't say 10. Who said 10? Who said 10? And Bronwyn's like, Brittany is telling me you said 10. And he's like, did I say 10? Sorry, honey, I said 3. That's where I said she fucked 3 dudes, not 10. And Bronwyn's like, oh, is that so much better? And there's a lot of like music, like dong, dong. And Angie gives like a lot of looks. Like everybody's like, look, serving a look. And Angie goes, you think you're funny with your fucking jabs. And she's like, I don't think I'm funny. I think I'm being honest. And Angie's like, it's not. You're mean. You're mean. All you are is mean. Now, Lisa Barlow looks over and sees what's going on. And Angie goes, you do things to hurt people's feelings in social settings. And Bronwyn's like, no, I don't. Angie's like, yes, you do. No, I don't. Yes, you do. And Lisa tells Maylee, what's your name? Oh, Maylee, Angie, I think, and Bronwyn aren't like... And Maylee's like, are they really getting into it? Bronwyn's like, your language is out of control, Angie K. Over the top. And Angie's like, oh, you say bullshit. You say fuck. You say dick. And Bronwyn's like, did I scream it in your face? And then Angie's like, you say I'm not going to ride your fucking dick, Lisa, like it's my job? Did you say that? Did you say that, Bronwyn? And we flash back to that Palm Springs getaway where Bronwyn is telling Lisa, when it's me and somebody else, it's my responsibility to work out. But when it's you and somebody else, my ass better ride your dick like it's my job, Lisa. Which actually, this is a little known fact, that is actually taken from the 3rd act of Hamlet. And I was like, I know I heard ride your dick like it's my job. And then I realized it's Hamlet. In a very important scene in Hamlet. Yeah, amazing. So Bronwyn says that, and we cut back to the party, and Angie goes, it's fucking crass and disgusting. I love it. I love that she puts fucking. It's fucking crass and disgusting. And Bronwyn's like, did I scream it in your face? And Angie's like, I don't talk about riding anyone's fucking dick, Bronwyn. We have a flash for some reason of Meredith's mom and Brooks. And Bronwyn's like, how many times do I say? And it's like, you have crass, nasty language and you're offended? I need to wash your mouth out with Salt Lake City soap, Bronwyn. And Lisa is like, still like spying. She's like, oh, wow. Oh my gosh. Oh, wow. And Bronwyn's like, you scream it in my face that many times. Yeah. And Angie's like, the word fuck offends you when you say dick every 5 seconds? And Bronwyn's like, when someone unhinged yells at me to shut the fuck up. And Angie just keeps going, you said dick. You said dick cockballs. And Bronwyn's like, which is fucking unhinged. Like, and all of a sudden the workers are like listening. And Todd, now the Todd father, you've awakened the Todd father. And Todd like comes rolling over like, uh-oh, I don't like what I'm hearing over here. And Angie goes, oh, here comes your better half. Your much better half. And Todd's like, I think it's time for another drink, Bronwyn. Time to take a break. And he puts his arm around Bronwyn to take her away. Would you like another glass of wine, Angie K? And Bronwyn's like, you don't need to bring somebody who calls me a liar and drunk. Like, you don't need to bring a drink to somebody who calls me a liar and a drunk. And Todd's like, I know, baby. I know, baby. And Angie's like, Todd is being nice. And Bronwyn's like, you can't dare to look at me in the face and apologize to me. Like, so she like ducks Todd and like goes right into Angie K's face again. And Angie goes, I said I'm sorry. I told you to shut the fuck up. I said I'm sorry that I told you to shut the fuck up. And Bronwyn keeps going. So you want another bullshit apology to Todd? Go for it. Go for it, Angie K. But I haven't heard a single one out of you that was worthwhile, Angie K. And they walk away, and Angie goes, Todd, you're the best, Todd. You're the best. Todd is like, bitches and hoes, bitches and hoes, bitches be shopping. Yeah, he's like, what? I just, take me back to my Starbucks. I just want to be collecting Starbucks mugs right now, and these ladies are fighting all over me. So Bronwyn walks away, and she passes Maylee, Lisa, and Brittany. And Maylee's like, hey, do you need a drink? And, you know, Bronwyn's like, no, I'm fine. I'm okay. Heather is clocking all of this. You know, Heather's like, worried look, like, oh, this is my Salt Lake. What's going on here? And Maylee, you know, once again, like, hey, do you want me to chill? Like, Maylee really trying to get in a scene any way she can. Like, do you want me to chill with you for a second? Bronwyn's like, no, I'm fine. Todd now comes up behind Bronwyn. And he's like, you weren't giving me a chance. And Bronwyn's like, I know. But it's like, but all she hears is you telling that it's fine, you know? And he goes, that's not what I was saying. Excuse me. He's like, what's your name? Maylee. Excuse me for a minute, Maylee. And Maylee's like, yeah, I'll give you a minute. And Bronwyn goes, you're being very nice, Todd. I appreciate you being respectful to other women. And all they hear is you are sticking up for them. And he's like, I was trying to be respectful, and that is not what I was trying to do. And Bronwyn's like, I know. And she's like, her hand shaking. And he's like, I'm going to leave. And Bronwyn's like, can I have an espresso martini, please? And they're like, you may. And Todd now, he's like, has his hand up. He's like, oh. And Bronwyn's like, no, I told her 10 times that there wasn't an apology. I wasn't interested, and she wanted to. And he's like, so why'd you stay? Why didn't you walk away? That's the Bronwyn I know. Why didn't you walk away? And Bronwyn's like, there's no winning. If I tell the truth, I'm a liar. If I tell a lie, I'm BSing, and people like, none of them can own the shit they do themselves. They just can't. And then she tells the bartender, sorry you had to overhear our therapy session. You guys do not get paid enough for that. The Todd father walks away from Brittany, puts his drink down, and I'm like, oh my God, is the Todd father leaving? Now, Angie's talking to somebody. She's like, she's just trying to make me look bad for everything. Get on over here. And Mary Cosby, like, get on over here, Mary. Come on over here, Mary. And Sean, Angie's husband, is like, this is supposed to be a happy event. And Mary's like, what happened? What about her? What's going on? Where am I? Who is this? And, you know, Bronwyn's talking to Maylee and Lisa, and Bronwyn's like, Angie's out of her fucking mind. And Lisa's like, what happened? Angie tells Mary, do you do exorcisms, Mary? And Mary's like, no, girl, no. And Angie's laughing. I'm like, God, it would be cool to watch Mary Cosby do an exorcism, but another season. And Meredith's sister comes up to Meredith and goes, Mare, your voice was not intolerable. And Brooks is like, that's what I was thinking too. Like, oh my God, poor Meredith. Like, I make fun of Meredith's voice, but her own family makes fun of her voice. My God. Whitney comes up to Heather, and Whitney's like, we need to talk about what Bronwyn was saying at camp day. And Heather goes, listen, I don't think that there's anything to discuss. I know that Bronwyn was spinning her yarn about you guys kikiing and you're not my friends, but it's not the big deal. We're still good, Whitney. We're still good. A talking head, Heather goes, I really have no unresolved concerns with Whitney after camp day. Sure, she said, sorry, had to take a second for my sinuses and a coughing fit, but we're back. Heather was saying, hey, sure, but it's nothing that she hasn't said directly, you know, Whitney, to my face before, so we're good. There's really no need for damage control. Yeah, see, this is like Heather has too much power in the Whitney relationship. I root for people like Whitney in these kind of scenarios because I want Whitney to be on equal footing with Heather, and it just doesn't seem like they are. And Lisa comes up to Heather and goes, "What is happening?" Back to the talking head, Heather's like, "When I have a problem with Whitney, I will tell her to her face. Heather Gay's a straight shooter, everybody." Whitney tells Lisa and Heather, "I never said I want to take down Heather. Bronwyn is telling me that I'm going to be," and Lisa's like, Whitney, do you know what's hard?" And Whitney goes, "Why will you not let me fucking speak?" And Lisa's like, "What are you doing? Don't talk to me like that. I'm Lisa Barlow." And Whitney's like, "Every time I talk, you start talking." And Lisa's like, "You interrupt too. You do. And Whitney's like, "You already know Bronwyn is taking my fucking words and spinning them. This cast is a bunch of potty mouths. Angie K cursing like Andrew Dice Clay, and now Whitney saying the F-bomb." And anyways, Whitney like is saying this, and Lisa Barlow goes, "This is a lie. Making up things is a lie. You make up things and you lie, Whitney." I'm confused at this point. I thought Whitney was talking about Bronwyn, and Lisa's like, "You're a liar. You are a liar." And Whitney's like shaking her head like, "No, you're a liar. No. Lisa, drink every time Lisa Barlow says lie, lying, or liar in a show. You will be hammered. And Lisa's like, "You know how you figure out like who's lying? You get the both the liars in the room. That's how you figure it out." And then all of a sudden we cut to Brittany taking a selfie with Bronwyn and Maylee. And Brittany's like, she's like, dude, you've got to check out Brittany's social media. This girl is on one in the best, weirdest possible way. Like, I know it's like real and she craves attention, but it's in a different sort of way. It's like she's not necessarily tethered to the earth. There's a chance that Brittany might be an alien, and I'm totally here for it. Like, I thought there was going to be an alien invasion this week, according to TikTok, and it didn't happen. And I'm kind of bummed out about it, but like maybe they're already here and maybe Brittany's one of them. That's probably something for another podcast, but I do think there's good evidence that Brittany might be an alien. So anyways, they take this selfie and Bronwyn's like, "Oh, how the tables of this friendship turn. Who knew I'd be friends with you two?" Like, Bronwyn says this to Maylee, and like, I understand the Brittany of it all, but like, what did Maylee do? "Who knew I would be friends with even you? What's your name?" "Maylee." Yes. So now back to Lisa. Lisa's like, "Bring Bronwyn over here and we'll find out who's lying." And Whitney looks like perturbed. Heather looks a little tipsy. And back to Brittany. Brittany tells Bronwyn, and Brittany's like, "So now that we are newly friends, Bronwyn," and she's sipping her wine glass as a good Mormon, and she's like, "I want this to last a hot minute, Bronwyn. How about that? At least." In a talking head, Brittany's like, "Yay, Bronwyn and I are finally friends. Yes, I'm really excited to see where this friendship goes." All of a sudden we hear Whitney going, "Bronwyn, you're needed over here. Bronwyn, come here." Heather Gay walks away. Bronwyn stands up, and all of a sudden Angie K is over here too. Like, everybody is gathered around, and Whitney's like, "Angie, did I say anything bad about Heather?" We see Meredith Marks like clocking this whole scenario, and Angie goes, "We did all talk, but I feel like she twisted it." I don't feel like she did twist it. Like, I'm shocked we haven't flashed back to that scene yet. And Brittany comes in. She's like, "Okay, so," and Angie's like, "Bronwyn thinks I'm a bad person that says," and Lisa goes, "No, it's not. No." And Bronwyn's like, "No, I didn't say that. I never said that." And Angie's like, "I was trying to be kind." And Brittany's like, "I do think you say things just to be dramatic, Angie K. I do. I also have a suspicion you're Greek." And Angie's like, "I have been so nice to you, Brittany." And Brittany's like, "No, you basically called me a slut." Pause. We hear this like weird synth music. Ding, 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 ding. The Meredith Marks' son, Reed, that doesn't want to be on camera. All of a sudden he looks up. He's like, "This is exactly why I don't want to be on camera. I don't like hearing the word slut in public." And Angie's like, "I don't even use that word since 1990, but I do use fucking this, fucking that. It's the Angie K rap attack. Fucking Greek, fucking. Those are the two words that I say the most. Greek and fucking. Greek and fucking. You know Greeks be fucking. You know they love saying it. They love their wine. They love their wine. It's trick to rock around to rock that man. Fuck off. Anyways, Lisa Barlow is saying things under her breath, like with a smile, like saying you're doing 3 guys. That's what she's talking about. She's talking about Brittany when she said you did 3 guys. And then she's like, I said you did 3 guys. And Brittany's like, yeah, you literally said I was effing like 10 guys at the same time. And Lisa's laughing. Lisa's like, oh. And then she's like, I never said 10. I never said 10. I said you were doing 69 with 3 guys. And Brittany's like, yeah, you did. And Lisa's just finds this hysterical. And now Bronwyn, you know, this is a little messy of Bronwyn and a little, I don't know if I love this move, but Bronwyn all of a sudden decides to turn on Brittany. And she goes, here, Angie K, I'll be messy on your behalf. Brittany told me earlier that she called you a slut because that she thinks you called her a slut because you are one. You are one, Angie K. You are. And Lisa's like, zoinks. And Brittany's like, needle scratch. Wait, what? What? And Bronwyn just threw Brittany under the slut bus. Bronwyn in a talking head goes, ordinarily I would be happy to see Angie getting into trouble after she's fucked with me, but I'm tired of Brittany's little shtick of running her mouth and then being like, poor me, I'm such a victim. Someone called me a slut. Someone brought me wine. Like, I can't deal with it anymore. If you're going to call Angie a slut outside, we flash back to 2 hours earlier where Brittany's like, I really think if she accused me of being a slut, then that's probably because what she's doing with Sean. I like that she's like being slutty with her own husband. So we flash back to that, and we go back to Bronwyn's talking head. Then call Angie a slut inside. If you're going to do it outside, call her a slut at this religious ceremony. And Angie's like, you think I'm a slut, Brittany? And Brittany's like, no, I didn't. Why would you stir the pot like that, Bronwyn? And Bronwyn's like, you did say that. You said you were going to say it to her face. And Angie's like, if you're accusing me... No, Brittany's like, if you're accusing me of sleeping with multiple guys, maybe that's how you dated. Maybe that's how you dated. Now, Mary Cosby's made her way over. She still has not taken over her sunglasses. Bronwyn looks very pleased with herself. Bronwyn, dangerous. In a talking head, Bronwyn's like, Brittany wanted to be friends for a hot minute. I gave her a solid 5. That shit is over. Angie goes, I don't look like I have a high body count, and I don't dress like I have a high body count. Now, for the people at home that don't know what high body count means, it means that they've killed people a lot. No, it means that they've slept with a lot of people. Like Jax probably has a high body count, right? He's fucked a lot of people, right? But Angie goes, I don't dress like I have a high body count. I don't. And I don't wear my hair like I have a high body count. And Brittany's like, do you think my hair looks cheap? And Angie's like, it looks a little pornish, your hair. And Lisa's like laughing. He's like, oh my God. Angie K, my Greek girl, going for it. And Brittany's like, do you really mean it? You think my hair looks slutty? And Angie's like, that looks like high body count hair. That hair, the closer to heaven, the higher the body count. And Angie's like, this does not hair, that hair does not, that does not, that does not, your hair does. That's high body count hair. That's a high body count dress. Those are high body count heels. Now, this is bad enough, but Lisa Barlow, like, she's sitting there, and Bronwyn too, they're just like laughing there like evil stepsisters. And Angie's like, if you're going to call me slutty, I think I look like a mother. I don't know what kind of mother. I mean, like, my mom was a beautiful lady, but like, you know what I'm saying. And Bronwyn's like, in her Versace with her nipple hanging out. Yeah, that is mother. Brittany's like, I'm in serious shock right now. And Angie's like, do I look slutty? Do I look slutty? I will say, though, if we're really going by, I'm all for, like, let your freak slut fly. Like, everybody's a slut. It's all good. There's nothing to be ashamed of. We don't slut shame. We don't do that. Everybody can do what they want. But I will say, I mean, Angie K is dressed, I think, potentially a little sexier. Am I allowed to say that? A little sexier than Brittany. Like, I'm like, coming up to the stage, we've got Angie K. Hey, everybody, get your Greek flags out because we have Angie K coming to the stage. So Brittany's like, you know what, Angie? Screw you. And Angie's like, no, screw you. With her, she goes, no, screw you, slutty Brittany, slutty Brittany. And Brittany walks away, and Angie's like, take your little bumper and walk away. And Lisa's like, oh, you just shamed her hair. Oh my God, you just shamed her hair, Angie K. Meredith, I think, is taking like a vodka ice luge all of a sudden with Seth. And Seth is like, wait, the best way to do that, honey, is like this. Just put your mouth up on the ice and just let it flow into your mouth. And Meredith's like, no. So we get a little break from the slutty action. And Maylee's like, oh my God, I seriously cannot, whatever. And Brittany's like, I can't believe what just happened. And when he's like, what happened? What happened? And Brittany's like, you guys, I'm leaving. Brittany says all of her lines with like a half smile on her face. So I can't tell if it really affects her or not. Like, it's very confusing. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's always a half smile on her face, even in serious situations. And when he's like, no, don't leave. And she's like, I'm seriously leaving the party. What happened? Don't. And Brittany's like, Angie just said I have like slutty vibes. She just said my hair is slutty. My dress is slutty. My tits are slutty. I don't think she said tits, but I mean, that was what she meant. And when he's like, Angie did? When he's like, Angie did? Angie Katzenevas? Okay. And Whitney looks over at Angie, and Angie's like, it's a bumper, and yours is a little bit too. To Maylee? Is she talking to Maylee? And Maylee's like, it's a what? Maylee doesn't know what a bumper is. Little snooky bumper. And Angie's like, I was never slutty, ever. Not even in high school was I slutty, Brittany, when it was okay to be slutty. I was not even in high school. No, not even at my job. No, not even, never slutty. Always pure. Always pure. Now, she is now screaming, I'm not slutty at the aftermath of a bat mitzvah. Like, this truly is like a 13-year-old bat mitzvah. This is what 13-year-olds probably got into a fight about at actual bat mitzvahs. So Meredith should kind of feel like she's really like ensconced in the proceedings. Brittany's walking out going, I have never been so offended in my entire life. I need Jared. When he's like, Ange, that was kind of mean. She's crying. And she's like, is she really? Like, well, yeah, Angie, you literally just called her slutty 30 times. She's like, is she really? Why do you think that is? We hear Brittany like sniffling on her mic, like behind a curtain. So she didn't really leave. She's like hiding behind a curtain. Angie in a talking head says, look, I just want to make it clear. I didn't call Brittany a slut. I called her hair slutty. I didn't call Brittany a slut. I said her hair likes to be finger banged. That's what I said. I didn't say she's a slut. I said her hair will take like 3 guys at once. Double penetration on the hair. That's what I said. That's not slut shaming. That's hair shaming. And by the way, Angie does know this. Angie does run mini hair salons. So I think, realistically, she would know what hair slut shaming is. And Angie goes, and in my business, there's a difference. What's the difference? She goes, I mean, I think I was offering up good advice, truly. What's the advice? And when he's like, you don't want to leave her like that, Angie K. And she's like, no, I don't. Where is she crying? She ran off crying. And Angie's like, where is my phone? Where is my phone? I've got to get a picture of this. And Mary's like, are you okay, Brittany? And she's like, I was called a slutty vibe. And Chloe, Meredith's daughter, is like, what the hell? And Brooks is like, that's not nice. And Chloe's like, I don't think that's true. Like Chloe takes it seriously. I've not seen any proof of that at all. And Brooks is like, you look beautiful. You do, Brittany. And Bronwyn turns to Meredith going, are you having an okay time? Despite us. Now, Brooks and Chloe come up to Meredith. Meredith actually wasn't there. It was just the kids. So they come up to their mom. And Brooks is like, Brittany was called a slut by Angie K. And Meredith's like, oh, she just came back. I'm seeing Brittany walk back in. And Brittany comes back in. And they're like, did Ange come find you? And Brittany's like, I'm leaving. And I'm like, you just left. Like, continue to leave. You came back in to say you're leaving again. And Lisa's like, why are you leaving? Like, Lisa, because you got called slutty 30 times. And Brittany's like, yeah, I just got called slutty hair. Now Meredith is like, I'm a woman now. I am a woman. And she walks up to Brittany, very purposeful. And she's like, come here, come here. And Maylee's like, she called my hair slutty too, you guys. Me, Maylee. It's me, Maylee. My hair was called slutty too. I just want to make everybody aware. Okay, cool. Mary's like, come here, Brittany. Come here. And Brittany's like, I have slutty 90s hair? And Mary's like, come here, what just happened? Brooks just told me you were crying. Are you okay, Brittany? And Brittany's like, yeah, I mean, that was just so low. I said, what happened? And now Lisa comes over, and Brittany's like, I've never been like slut shamed like that. And Lisa now has her arm around Brittany, like, hey, what's going on? Hey. She knows she owes you an apology, Brittany. You kind of do too. You were like cracking your ass up, Lisa. And Lisa's like, Angie, come here, Angie. And it's like, she feels bad. And Brittany's like, I just want to leave. And Lisa, Angie walks up and Lisa's like, I told her you came at her twice. And Angie goes, I love your hair. And Lisa goes, she doesn't, she's lying. Way to make things better. Angie goes, I love your hair. She doesn't, she's lying. And he's like, oh my God, you said that. I was probably slutty. You did, Brittany. And Brittany's like, no, I did not. Did you say that? And Lisa goes, if somebody came over to me and said, and Angie's like, it's super offensive to say to an old school Greek girl. She literally says an old school Greek girl to say she's slutty, especially with the Greeks. I guess that's a new thing that I didn't know, that the Greeks take great offense to being called slutty. Catholics love it. Us Catholics, we call me a slut all day, right? And Lisa's trying to broker peace, but like making it worse at the same time. And then Meredith all of a sudden just gets like, by the power of Grayskull, I am Meredith Marks. And all of a sudden her voice starts raising going, you called someone a slut and a whore, and I'm not sure why you're here. All of a sudden the music stops and Angie like, okay, let's get into it. It's like a wrestling match. And Angie's like, you invited me here. Now you're saying, and then Meredith goes, she starts doing the arm pointing that she does. She goes, you know what? You can go. You're calling her a slut? Get your sticky ass husband and go. Go. Brittany is like crying and Lisa goes, don't let her hurt your feelings, Brittany. But you know what? You do need a kerosene treatment. Don't let her hurt your feelings. But you know what? Your hair looks really fucking dry. You need a kerosene treatment. Lisa Barlow, ladies and gentlemen. So Angie keeps telling Meredith, you invited me. And you invited me. You need to get me out of here. And Meredith's like, oh, we are. And this time I have security. Oh, I travel with security now. And she's like, security. And she's like, please escort her and her husband out. Security. And all of a sudden, these two big burly dudes, security dudes, walk up, black suits, like silver chains, like, come here. These two, they gotta go. You can go. You can leave. So Meredith, like full Meredithing right now. You can go. You are not welcome here. And like now the burly bodyguards are standing between Meredith and Angie K. And Angie's like, Meredith, wow. And Meredith's like, walk out. In a talking head, she says, quite frankly, I've had it with Angie's behavior. I don't like the way she speaks about everybody. She's very nasty and mean. I'm over the nastiness and the rumors, and I'm over it. In the scene, she's screaming, you disrespected her, Brittany, as a woman. You don't, and Angie's like, you don't know the whole story. Meredith's like, you disrespected me. You did. I'm a woman now. Please. Security, please. Escort her now. Get her out of here. You can go. You are not welcome here. And she just keeps going. And Brittany is looking at this like, woo, look at Meredith standing up for me. You've done it to everybody, Angie K, and I'm tired of it. Please leave. Angie tells the bodyguards, you don't need to escort me, guys. I weigh 100 pounds. It would have been insane. Like, I was like waiting for one of these guys to drop Angie K. Just like take her out of the jugular. I was like praying to God that these guys didn't actually have to get physical with her. Cause Angie's like, hey guys, hey, you wouldn't hurt a Greek girl, would you? You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't hurt a girl with glasses. She's like, I will walk out. Meredith keeps going, bye, 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 Mazel Tov, bye. And Angie's like, wow, this is a very beautiful religious event, Meredith. Thank you. And Meredith's like, what was that? I don't like people who slut shame. In a talking head, Meredith goes, this is not what I wanted. But she left me with no choice to have her taken out by 2 burly bodyguards. No other choice. Angie has been repeatedly shaming women, including me. And we flash back to last season when Angie K. You know, it is weird. Like, I didn't take Angie that seriously. And now you see these flashbacks. I'm like, wow, Angie really did go for it last season. Because we have Angie going, run away, Meredith. Run away, Meredith. Meredith going, I don't speak to people who treat me with disrespect. And Angie's like, the only one who spreads their legs outside their marriage is you. And Meredith's like, not me, honey, not me. And Angie's like, yeah. So I forgot about that. Angie does seem to like have a thing about calling people sluts and like shit and like saying the F word. So Mary's like, I've had enough. I don't like women degrading other women. I'm very Ramona Singer that way. And Angie says, hey, I brought you a gift, by the way. Thanks for coming empty-handed to my party, Meredith, and then talking shit about me. Don't call me slutty ever again, Brittany. I did not call you slutty. Yes, you did, Brittany. And Brittany goes, you called me slutty vibes. Slutty. You called me slutty vibes. And then all of a sudden she gets given a coat. Angie, and Angie's like, this is not mine. This is Brittany's coat, not mine. And she throws it on the floor. And Sean is like, oh shit. Like, okay. Sean actually looks like a security guard as well. He's wearing the same black suit. All of a sudden, Brittany's like just looking down. Angie's walking out with her husband, followed by the security guards. And Meredith tells Seth, she needs to be escorted out. Seth's like, I can handle this. Hey, we're still going to have sex later, right? I want to get a quickie before I go back to Big Lots. Meredith goes, she is disgusting, Seth. Vile human being. Just vile. Brittany takes her coat off the floor. She's like, ooh, my coat. Oh, nice. And Lisa goes, hey, Ange, hold on. Like, so Lisa walks out after Ange. And Ange's like, oh, my God. And Lisa's like, hold on. And Angie's like, I even talked to her. Hold on, Sean. Hold on. And Mary Cosby comes out and goes, what happened? And Angie's like, I have no idea. And Angie goes, it was about hair. In a talking head, Lisa goes, I feel bad for Angie, but like, I don't see how she doesn't see her part in it. And Angie in the scene goes, that fucking tacky bitch showed up empty-handed to my anniversary party. Yeah, talking to Meredith. Meredith is a tacky bitch. And Lisa's like, Angie, don't say things you're gonna regret. Don't. Lisa in the talking head goes, some of the things that Angie says is hurtful. And I think she just remembers the reaction. She doesn't remember what she did to provoke the reaction. And Lisa's smiling the whole talking head. In the scene, Brittany is saying, I'm so sick of her like throwing out jabs, Meredith, that I'm sleeping with people. And Meredith's like, she criticizes us as mothers. She's like slurring. She criticizes us as mothers. She criticizes us as women. She criticizes us as Jewish women. You know, she criticizes, you know, back out there. Angie's like, I am so sick of this. I am sick of it. And Lisa's like, I'm sorry. I need to get more raclette cheese. I'm sorry. And Andy's like, no, let me pull a Meredith on you right now. Every time you see her, she's got an excuse, Lisa, for why she's fucking crying. Tell her to come out here and resolve this like a Jewish woman. And then Meredith's sister comes and goes, Mare, Mom hasn't talked to you at all. Come talk to us. Uh-oh, Meredith's in trouble with her mom for the fight. And then all of a sudden, Maylee's like, let's take a selfie. And Brittany's like, yeah, let's take a selfie. And Bronwyn's like, I don't have slutty hair, so I'm out of it. She won't be in the selfie with Maylee and Brittany. Angie out there goes, I am done. And Lisa's like, I'm sorry. And then Angie's like, I'm embarrassed that she invited me here and then asked me to leave. And Lisa just hugs her. I love you. Gotta go back into the party. I love you. Hey, love you. Look at me. Do you know that? And then he's like, I know. Okay, good. I'm a good friend. Okay. Whitney in the party goes, husband, let's go. We've got to go. Angie realizes she's lost her phone. She's like, oh, shit. Ugh. Lisa to Meredith goes, I mean, the level of like accusations is unbelievable. And Meredith's like, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's just crazy. And then Lisa goes, well, cheers to Puerto Vallarta. And Meredith's like, can't wait. Woo. See you. Mazel. You're in the tribe. And then we hit like pause, like a pause button comes on the screen. And Lisa in a talking head goes, okay, this is so out of hand and everyone is in some kind of fight. And all, sorry. I can't get through this recap. Anyways, it's like all of a sudden we do like that Salt Lake City thing where they make it kind of like a sitcom-y thing of like, oh my God, here's the tea. Meredith hates Angie. And we see like a close-up shot of Meredith and then a close-up shot of Bronwyn. Bronwyn hates Angie. And then a shot of Angie. Angie hates Brittany. And then a shot of Lisa, and it says, and I hate Whitney. Lisa Brown goes, and I hate Whitney. Like, just, how bold. And I hate Whitney. And then we see shots of Whitney and Mary Cosby and Brittany. And the music's like, bow, bow, bow. And then we see raclette cheese dripping. The editors are lost their fucking minds, and I'm here for it. And then we see Heather like with her hand, hand in her head or hand, whatever. And then Lisa's like, but the thing is, not so long ago, we were all kind of okay. You were never okay. Which is why before Angie threw a napkin at the end of the scene, before she said Brittany had high body count hair, and before Meredith pulled up on a sleigh, I planned the perfect girls trip. And we hear the echoing from 2 times before in this episode. Perfect girls trip, perfect girls trip, perfect girls trip. And we see the clouds. And all of a sudden we're at Lisa Barlow's place. And John's like, what are you looking at, babe? It's Puerto Vallarta. He's like, oh. You know, after we went to Palm Springs, I was like, I throw a great trip. And no one's seen the kind of trips I do. And John's like, cool. But I mean, don't you think it sounds like fun? And then all of a sudden the screen turns to static. And Lisa goes, but obviously you can't plan for everything. And we fast forward through all the things that we just saw. And Lisa says again, well, cheers to Puerto Vallarta. Can't wait. See you. Mazel. And Meredith goes, oh, gosh. Next time on The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. And the women are cheering because they're in beautiful Puerto Vallarta. They've made their way out of Milwaukee. And I wonder if Lisa paid for first-class tickets like Bronwyn did on the way there and the way back. Who knows? So they're all cheering with drinks at the airport. Hopefully Lisa doesn't lose any rings. And we see their, like, accommodations. It looks beautiful. And I think Heather going, ain't no party like a Barlow party. And then all of a sudden the sun goes down and we hear Bronwyn going, hear out what I'm saying. Versus telling me to be fucking grateful that Lisa Barlow took me on a trip. And then we hear Angie K going, stop always sticking up for everyone. And Lisa going, no, I'm not sticking up for anyone else. And Angie's like, you do. And then all of a sudden Lisa does her famous screaming going, why can't we talk in fact? Why can't we talk in fact? Why do we have to lie? Why? Oh, you guys, we did it. A very quick 2 hours. We got a couple of other things to talk about before we end the episode. 1 second. Okay, so I wanted to talk about Heather Gay's new book. It's called Good Time Girl. I think it's out now, so go pick it up if you want. But there's a couple revelations in this. I'm taking this from a Page 6 article. I meant to talk about this last week, but it says Real Housewives of Salt Lake City alum Monica Garcia, Reality Von Teese, claimed Jen Shah's husband tried kissing her, according to Heather Gay. Woo! So it says, Us Weekly obtained an advance excerpt of Gay's forthcoming book, and this is the quote in the book. In a final Hail Mary attempt for a handout, she reached out to Jen's husband, Sharif, in a chapter titled "Receipts Prove Timeline Screenshots," which discusses the breakdown of Garcia's relationship with Jen Shaw, 51. Quote, supposedly they agreed to meet up in the parking lot of a gas station, and according to Monica, the exchange quickly turned romantic. She claims he tried to kiss her, but she pushed him off, saying, "We can't." Sharif got out of the car and immediately left. According to Gay, no one believed Garcia, 40, who was allegedly getting desperate and was known for cranking up the delusion when cornered. Quote, by all accounts, she has been pining for Sharif from the moment she met him. So this is Heather writing about Monica Garcia, and this was one of her absurd fantasies. Still, she swore that they had kissed, but nothing more happened between them after that night, Gay writes, alleging that Garcia was notoriously full of lies. Gay claims that Jen, pulled away from Garcia after she asked for proper compensation for being Jen's round-the-clock assistant. Quote, she wasn't getting paid, and now she was definitely getting ghosted. Monica was in a tailspin. Gay pins, claiming that Garcia was beside herself with rage. The alleged rage inspired Garcia to create Reality Von Tease. In a statement to Page 6, Garcia denied Gay's remark about the smooch she allegedly claimed Sharif attempted to give her. And her comment says, I have never said that Sharif Shaw and I kissed, nor has there ever been anything romantic or physical between Sharif and I. To so carelessly write such untrue and damaging allegations in permanent ink at the expense of others for financial gain is deplorable and sick. Garcia called it sad and worrisome that Gay had nothing else to write about than twisted and false allegations in a desperate attempt to try and tarnish the reputations of two families. The lies told about me by Heather continue to reach new lows, and the only fantasies happening here are the ones she's concocting in her book. Wow. So that, like, Heather writes in the book that Sharif and Monica Garcia kissed and wanted to do more, but Monica refused. Now, Jen Shaw and Sharif Shaw, they categorically deny this. Coach Shaw maintaining his innocence in the court of public opinion. And they put out a statement as well. A rep for the Shaws tell People magazine exclusively that both Jen and Sharif deny anything of the sort ever occurred, claiming Garcia has a history of spreading rumors. We categorically deny Heather Gay and Monica's statements. Coach Shaw has never had or attempted to have a romantic relationship with Monica at any time. Both my clients, Jen and Sharif Shaw, have ignored the continuous attempts for bait by Monica and others for storyline. Jen continues to remain consistent with her journey of positive rehabilitation and will not entertain frivolous narratives from those seeking a rise from her or her family. Garcia had a one-season stint on Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, which ended... Anyway, oh, sorry, that's not part of the statement. Wow. So, I mean, this is what sells books, I get, but also, couldn't Heather get sued then by Monica? Like, if this is untrue, don't books have to go through like a heavy vetting process if you're going to make accusations or things like that? The rumors and the nastiness. But now it just makes me want Monica Garcia back on the show even more. And I'm telling you, this is all leading up to Jen Shaw coming back on Salt Lake. I don't want it, but like I think that it is undeniable by the year 2027, if Salt Lake is still on the air and she's out of prison, Jen Shaw will be coming back and Heather Gay will have to face this. And Heather, I mean, like Heather's out there selling her side of the story. I mean, it's very interesting. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know. Okay, we did it. What an episode. We got through it. My voice is shot, but whatever. Thank you for being here. If you get a chance, leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, my Spotify listeners. And that's it. I got to rest my voice. I am just beat. Anyways, watch Southern Charm. Bop-a-doo, bop-a-dee-ee-ee. Have a great Friday, you guys. Make sure you subscribe to the show because I might drop surprise episodes. You never, ever know. Bye.